Hey everyone, so in this video I'm just going to be posting some clips, basically giving you a comparison between the new Eufy setup that I've actually installed over the past few days and the existing setup that I had previously. So with regards to the front driveway, previously I had a Reolink C2 Pro. Now technically that camera is actually better, so as you can see from on screen it's a 5 megapixel camera compared to a 1080p, which is the Eufy Cam 2, and the C2 Pro also had optical zoom. I think it was something like 3x optical zoom as well. However, obviously the difference here, as you can notice straight away, is the fact that one's mounted indoors, one's mounted outdoors. So whereas the outdoors camera may well be lower quality, overall the picture will be better because you're not shining through glass, so you're not getting any of that kind of reflection or refraction of the light that the C2 Pro unfortunately suffered from. And now we're coming on to the rear cameras, and once again it's a lot more obvious. This is mounted, well, the generic one used to be mounted in my girl's room, so it was shining out the window, basically the upstairs window, whereas the C2 cam is basically mounted just above the kitchen doors. So the angle is slightly different. Ideally I didn't really want the setup on the right to be that high, because as you can see it overlooks the neighbors quite a bit. So the one on the left is a better setup, and obviously being mounted outdoors, the only real concern that I had was whether rain and weather and everything will affect how the picture looks. Just rain droplets or anything actually causing an issue, but from the clips, I've got a few more clips later on, you'll be able to see that that's not really an issue. Now coming up after this particular clip will be the doorbell clips. Now they are very short because basically that's just the nature of getting deliveries in the current climate, where people don't stick around, they just drop off the deliveries and go. However, similarly again, so the video doorbell is on the left, it's just coming up now, and the old system was on the right. Now the old one was mounted on the door, whereas the new one is mounted slightly to the right of the door, so obviously the angle is slightly different there. If I can find some longer clips, I'll find some for you. Now these next few clips are basically from the first night when I actually installed the cameras. Basically one of my neighbors, for some silly reason, decided to start a fire within his shed, and he nearly burnt his and its neighboring property down. So we had the fire engine turn up and there was loads of noise and everything. So I thought this was actually a good test, because this was at night, and because of how bright the fire truck's lights were, it actually triggered the camera to switch back into day mode. So ordinarily at this time of night it would actually be on night mode, so because of the lights it basically tripped it back over into day mode, and you could see obviously what the quality is like at night, without any of my driveway lights, all these spotlights, the LED spotlights coming on. The clip coming up with regards to the back garden, as you'll see, and you might just notice the fireman on the left hand side just walking up the path there. This is what it would normally look like in the back garden. So as you can see, as I've mentioned in one of my previous videos, some of the spotlights on the fence panels, because when they move they seem to trigger on, so some of those are on. However, for the most part, because there's not enough light, it's actually on night mode. And as you can see from the actual image, you can see pretty much everything. Obviously you don't ideally want to be viewing it back in night mode. If you want to try and pick up faces and things like that, it's a lot better to actually have this switch over. However, what I may do is, I've not actually got around to doing a test yet, but what I may do is just do a test where I actually walk down my path, as I've mentioned in previous videos. Because of all of the spotlights within my back garden, basically it'll light up, and more than likely it'll actually switch back over to day mode. What I've done here in this clip now is I've basically switched it over to day mode manually. So, and basically that reflection that you're getting on the left hand side, the little bit of light, that's actually from the outside light, basically on my porch. And because of where it's positioned, it shines on the porch, but it also reflects down the side of my property as well. And as you can see, actually it is quite bright. That's actually a LifeX bulb. So anybody who's looking for LifeX products, obviously this is a plug for them as well, because as you can see, the light does actually stretch right to the back of the garden. It is quite bright. So that was just to look at what it was like with night mode on. And now switching over back to the driveway, this is what the front drive looks like with night mode on. So as you can see all the details, but obviously to capture faces and things like that is not ideal. I'd always recommend it wherever possible to get the relevant lighting to enable it to actually switch back to day mode. So that was just a manual test where I've switched to night mode and then back over to day mode, and as you can see the difference. Color reproduction is quite accurate, so that's a good point for it. But yeah, this was just a quick video showing the differences between those various setups.